First of all, welcome to the Friday the 20th update on COVID-19 in Fall River, Mass. I just have to make a few brief comments before we get into the informational piece of it. I really have to stress enough to the people that everybody just has to take a slight step back and calm down and realize that this is going to pass. We're going to work our way through this, just like we did the Notre Dame fire, just like we did the blizzard of '78. As long as we help each other and we work together as a team, we're going to get through this as a city. Fall River has always taken on these big battles and won them, and we're going to win this one. And if people will stay in communication with our office, stay in communication with your neighbors, and rely on these people behind me, we can all come out of this sooner rather than later and work to make Fall River a better place for everybody. Before I talk about my informational piece, I want to introduce some of the people behind me that are keeping the city running. They all have a little piece to say. First, I'll go right to left. Interim Police Chief Charles Cullen.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to let the public know in the city, the Fall River Police Department has patrols every day, day and night on the streets, available to assist the citizens like we do every day. In between with the COVID-19 virus, we've actually been helping other departments whenever there's a need, fielding questions. Sometimes we're referring people to proper departments with their questions. We had a few breaks in the last few weeks, specifically business breaks. However, the business breaks are not associated with COVID-19. At first, people thought there was some relation to it. And we have Captain Duart of the Major Crimes Division with his detectives working on these cases. In fact, this morning we were very close in making an apprehension with the assistance of the state police. We were not able to hold on to the person that was stopped, and they left the area. But I want everybody to know we are here. We have proper staff. We have the resources to provide to the residents at all time. There's no need to have any fears. And again, as I mentioned in the past to my men and women at work, education is the best prevention with the COVID virus. Thank you.
Interim Chief Cullen's doing a great job. Also, someone that's been helping the city a lot, our Fire Chief John Lynch.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to say that even though this is a unique crisis that we're facing here, the Fall River Fire Department, the EMS Division, EMA Division, and Special Services are very well prepared to handle this. We've been dealing with crises like this for many, many years, and we've got a foundation built. The only difference is this crisis seems to be evolving, but as it evolves, we will also evolve with it. We have supplies to last enough for 30 days. We have policies, procedures, and protocols recommended by CDC, the Board of Health, and the State Board of Health that we have in place. We have the manpower ready to go. So I want to reassure the citizens of the Fall River, do not panic. Help us out in this situation. Understand that these policies, procedures, and protocols are in place to protect you and to give you reassurance that we're going to do everything possible to see the citizens through this crisis. So thank you, and like the mayor said earlier, please don't panic. Everything will be all right in the end. Thank you.
Also with us today is our Director of Facilities, Assistant Superintendent Ken Pacheco.
Thank you, Mayor. On behalf of the Superintendent, Dr. Malone, we'd like to thank parents for having the patience to have their children a little more than they normally do. We'd like to also thank them for doing the homeschooling with packets that we're sending home and letting them know that we are there to support them as we are during the school year. We just tipped the scale at about 12,000 lunches that we've served since we closed down the schools, and we will continue to do that. We're opening up some new sites as of Monday. Students will be able to, and parents will be able to pick up lunches at Morton Middle School, at Heritage Heights, and at Maplewood Park, to bring a total of 9 locations that we will be supplying lunches. We are supplying breakfast, lunch, and dinner in packets for the children, and that will not stop. We will continue to do this as long as we're able and there is a need. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. These 3 gentlemen are part of the backbone of the city, and they're the part that's going to keep Fall River running day in, day out. As far as the lunches, I visited 3 of the sites this morning, Turner Park, Lafayette, and Fonseca, and it looked like everything was running right on schedule and right on time. I do have some brief updates I'd also like to speak to. Regretfully, Massachusetts had its first death from COVID-19. At the same time, though, we still, as of 4 o'clock this afternoon, do not have a confirmed case in Fall River. We must, as a city, continue to practice social distancing. It's very important. I find myself doing a better job of it to stay arm's length away from people. This is to protect the entire community, not just individuals. Social distancing reduces the risk for impact among the old, young, anyone else. Any immune-compromised patients need to stay away from other people. It will keep you alive. It will keep you safe. Please check in with your friends and neighbors over the phone, FaceTime, minimize face-to-face conversations as much as possible, and continue to practice all the preventive strategies that we've gone over every time we do this: hand washing, staying at home when you're sick, coughing and sneezing into a tissue. There is no treatment right now, but we as a community need to stay focused on where we're going. Continue to monitor the city, the CDC, and the MD website. Every day at 4 o'clock, they give us the updates, Mass.gov. If you go in there under coronavirus, you'll get all the information. Specifically to our office, Government Center, although closed to the public, remains operational with staff reporting to work. The mayor's office is available at any time you have to call, and we do get calls all day long. The number is 508-324-2600. Over the weekend, you can still get in touch with someone if you call that number. Starting Wednesday, March 25th, CERTA, our regional bus company, will start operating exclusively on a Saturday schedule. That schedule will run Monday through Saturday. Demand response services, where people know how to call, will continue the same way. Our senior citizens, please make certain to have on hand at least 2 weeks' supplies of prescription, over-the-counter medication, any foods, and all essentials. And also, within the next couple of days, know how to get food delivered, know where to call, establish communication lines with people that can help you in a crisis like this, and stay tuned to FRC Media for updates. Local television stations will give you anything you need to know about COVID-19 here in Fall River. We closed, along with the rest of the state, all of our restaurants, bars, and social clubs. Fall River Police has been doing an excellent job of monitoring that. We had a couple of little glitches, a few people in a restaurant, a few people in a yogurt shop. They were warned, and that ceased immediately. So as far as Fall River complying, that's working excellently, and we appreciate your cooperation. We know it's extremely difficult. Something near and dear to my heart, we closed our playgrounds, our basketball courts. We understand the kids are out of school. We understand they need a place to play. But for the next, hopefully, short while, if we keep everybody practicing social distance and we keep them apart from each other, it can help to diminish the spread of this deadly disease and keep them safe. Again, another hard knock is closing our senior centers. Those community rooms will remain closed. We heard someone in one of the centers was saying, I'm 85 years old, I don't need to worry about what they need to tell me to do. The only reason we're asking you to do it is so we get to see you when you turn 86. So please practice social distancing and help us out on this one. Every day we have multiple conference calls. I had one this morning with DPH. I have one tonight with Senator Markey's office, all looking for ways to help and support the people of Fall River. The governor's office, Senator Warren was on the phone yesterday with us, all looking to offer support to us. I think if we can just get through the next few weeks, we're going to come out of this in great shape. But we do need everyone in the city's support. It's extremely important. Get out, take a walk by yourself this weekend or with a loved one. Stay away from other people and get some fresh air and unwind a little bit. And with that, I thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. Any questions?
So, as you know, there's a lot of seniors in the city of Fall River. Are there any phone numbers or elderly affairs? Are they doing anything?
Housing has already posted some hotline numbers where they can get help. That's why we talked about the mayor's number. They call us. We deal with them all day long on a number of issues. It's not a problem. So call right here, 324-2600. We're glad to get them to call.
What about like local gyms? What do you guys monitor?
I think there may be a few still open. The one I'm a member of, the Y and the Boys Club, those are closed. But I think they're practicing social distance and making sure there's no more than 25 in there at a time. We're not closing everything. Obviously our grocery stores have more than 25 people in them at a time, but we're practicing that as much as we can.
And then, do you know how many people are quarantined?
I think it might have gone down to 2, but I'm not sure. It's coming out at 4 o'clock. We still only have 6 cases in Bristol, in all of Bristol County. If we can stay with that number, testing is starting to ramp up though. I know Primacare is doing some, St. Anne's, I can't get the numbers out of Charleston, but as those tests ramp up, the numbers are gonna ramp up.
I was also gonna ask, do you plan on having like any like drive-through test sites?
We don't have those yet, although Primacare is doing it right on the first floor, I heard.
How are police officers handling arrests if they have to deal with an arrest in the streets or taking care of someone that may be on an emergency? How are they protecting themselves?
They have protective equipment all year. You know, every cruiser has gloves, some masks, solutions. So, and they receive training in the academy. Every year we have annual in-service training. 8 hours is each year. All police officers attend first responder, CPR, defibrillator training, and part of that is self-protection. And this is a practice all year for any call that they're on.
Is this making their job more difficult, knowing that there is a virus that can affect them on their duty?
They're fully aware. The information that the public has is the same information I'm presenting to the officers. Some units may get information specific, say dispatches. They may have different instructions than what I'm giving to the men and women on the streets.
For Fire Chief. Chief, is some towns in Rhode Island are using specific ambulances to carry just COVID patients. Do you have any kind of measures like that down here?
No, we don't, because that would be too difficult, because you could have a lot of ambulances out for different maladies, and then something comes up with COVID-19 case possibly. So we have all our ambulances, all medical rescues outfitted, they handle the COVID-19. So it starts with dispatch. Dispatch asks a lot more questions than what they used to get to the root of the problem. So then if they suspect that it could be a possible COVID-19 case, they'll notify whatever medical rescue is responding to give them a heads up. And in addition to that, the governor just gave permission to the Board of Health to disclose any address that has a positive COVID-19 person in that building. Not the names or anything, but the address. So that's a big heads up there. So now when we pull up on the scene, whatever medical rescue it is, we send one person in, but they're gonna be fully outfitted. So you have goggles, you have a mask, you have a face shield, you have a gown, you have gloves, and then they're gonna go in and assess the situation for sure. And then depending on the situation, they'll call for more manpower, and they'll tell the manpower that's coming up what type of personal protective equipment they're gonna have to wear. So we rather remain very versatile like that, but we're very well prepared.
Chief, has it been clarified by the state how you're gonna get that information about these addresses?
Yes. So, the Board of Health, the local Board of Health, has that information. There's a site. And then she's gonna relay that information to me, and I will give that list to dispatch. So they'll put it into the system, so if that address comes up, it'll show that this is a possible COVID-19 positive address.
Is that immediate? Is that?
Yes, but we haven't had any cases yet.
Okay.
So I spoke with Tess Curran, she's the director of the Board of Health of Fall River, yesterday. And then this morning she texted me, she said, we still don't have a case, any positive case of COVID-19 at this point.
How is it gonna interfere with HIPAA law? Like the.
Well, this was signed off by the State Board of Health through the governor. All we're divulging is the address. No names, nothing like that. And there'll be a code so that we know that this address is possible COVID-19 positive household. So that's how we're complying with that.
How are city crews, the essential city crews that are on the roads, how are they handling the whole, like, cleaning buses and, like, doing the, are you guys doing that?
Oh, absolutely. The only difference between procedures before and procedures now is that we're a lot more stringent about things. The personal protective equipment that we wear is far more advanced and stronger, and we're taking stronger measures. We're being far more cautious. But all those procedures were done by us before this. We always disinfected the medical rescues because we run into many situations where we know before, like bloodborne, a lot of blood. You know that you have to disinfect everything. But this is just a little more stringent now, and we're a lot more careful, and we're trying to leave the exposures to a minimal. That's why we're only sending one person in with full personal protective equipment, top to bottom, to assess the situation. And the rest of the crews will stand outside.
Let me clear up that mistake. I do have to clear up,
Oh, I just have one more question.
For Chief?
For you.
okay. I just want to clear up one thing first. Primacare is a testing site, but you still need a referral from your doctor. Don't just go over there, folks. Please get a doctor's referral and go the way you're supposed to. They will help you once they know what they're talking about. Second thing is I want people to really understand the impact of what we did in 4 days along with the school department. Again, I visited 3 sites today. I suggest everybody takes them in. We're not caring which kids come, charter school, Catholic school, parents, students alone. We ramped up to 12,000 lunches in 4 days. And next week, I think it'll get a little bit busier. But we're gonna make sure as long as we can stay out there until someone tells us we have to stay inside exclusively, we're gonna feed these people and get through this together. I appreciate everybody coming out today, but Joe's got one more question.
Actually, I have 2 now.
Now you got 2, okay.
So, the funding for these meals, is that federal, and has the federal government been cooperative?
So Fall Rivers is a full lunch program, no cost to any student, and it will, all federal funds, all of these meals are reimbursable through federal funds, no matter which school. What we've done is we've started to apply blanket approvals for all of these individual schools. It's much easier for us we have the ability to produce thousands of lunches a day. And for a smaller district or the parochial schools, which are doing, one school at a time, it's much easier for us to do that. So, again, duplicating services, the same neighborhoods that we're pulling our students from, Atlantis is pulling their students, Diamond, and also Argosy. So it was easier for us to take that particular piece. I still think that Atlantis is trying to take care of their students and also feeding everyone else. Diamond is doing the same, but anyone who walks through the door is getting fed, and we're not asking for any of that. All we want to know is how many lunches, dinners, and breakfasts do you need.
So, Mayor, I know it's only day 4, but your small businesses are already feeling the pinch.
Yeah.
Again, early on.
On the conference call yesterday with Senator Warren, The federal government is exploring programs. We have some state programs. Mass Development has a program they're going to be rolling out next week. Locally, Bristol County has one. There's a number of programs that are going to ramp up extremely quickly. Those businesses are getting killed. We have to save them. We want to make sure we put money in people's hands so they can spend it as fast as possible. I just got off the phone with Senator Markey's office, and we have a 6 o'clock conference call. I will bet you it comes up again, and we're trying to save our local businesses. With that being said, thank you. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, just one more question. And I walked in a few minutes late, so forgive me if this is something you've already talked about. But I know North Attleboro and Taunton declared declaration of emergency for additional funds as well.
We did that last week. Yep.
Last week.
Last
okay.
week, yep. Maybe Monday. I don't know. Maybe Monday. That seems like last week. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.